International Elevate Conference. I'm here with Gregg Johnson from J12 Ministries. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome and having a great time in Canada.
That's right, we're in Canada. Hey. Anyways, so now your ministry, J12, can you just tell us about it?
Okay.
It's super unique.
Well, you know, there's only one story in the Bible about God between the age of birth and 30, and it's when he's 12.
Right.
So what we've done is take that number and put the name of Jesus, or the letter of his name, at the front of it, Jesus at 12. Doesn't stand for Jesus and the 12 disciples, it stands for Jesus at the age of 12.
Okay.
And so this is a ministry that is tween specific, that has now become a local church model and spreading throughout the world, really, and different churches are going J12.
Wow.
And using the J12 identity as a ministry context for kids that are 10 to 12 years of age in their churches.
Right.
Some do it 10 or 11 to 13, 10 to 12, some 5th and 6th grade. Depends upon the schooling system, wherever they may be, something like that.
Sure. Now, the world really targets that age group.
Oh,
hard. I mean, they go after them. What do you believe is the necessity within the church and within the Christian culture to get these young people?
Okay, it would be a proactive model. I believe that the story of Jesus at 12 is a very proactive model, because what happened in the story of Jesus at 12 is that he was lost in Jerusalem for 3 days.
Right.
And his parents didn't know where he was. And when they found him, he did not act like a normal kid. He actually was not at all infected negatively.
Sure.
He looked at his mom and he said, "Why do you seek me?"
Yeah.
And then he said, "Did you not know?"
Right.
Which implies he'd been pretty dynamic before then.
Right.
And then he said, "I must be about my Father's business." So J12 is a proactive model as opposed to a reactive stance.
Right.
Often we have a reactive sense of, oh, kids are going through so much, we've got to just help them stay above water. We don't believe that. We believe kids are going through issues, but they are greater on the inside than they are on the outside.
Right.
Because they can know the Spirit of Jesus at 12, which is, I must be about my Father's business.
Right.
So in essence, J12 is a real raising the bar, proactive approach to training almost teenagers in our churches today, in our culture today.
Now, you've been at this in youth ministry and preteen ministry for well over 20 years.
Yes, absolutely.
What's been your passion and your motivation? Because a lot of times it's a stepping stone ministry, you know what I mean? So
of course.
What's your heart?
Well, when I was 14, God called me to influence the youth of nations. And he didn't continue. It was a period, not a comma. Now, for many, it's a comma. They spend a season ministering to youth, and then they go on to minister to broader categories of humans. But for me, it was a period, not a comma.
Right.
So my passion is to minister to the youth of nations. Now, the switch, though, was 8 years ago, when I realized that if you're 14, you're almost over the hill, so to speak, in terms of influence. So we need to go younger. So I went from teen to tween, or preteen, so to speak. And so I consider this to be hybrid children's ministry, because it's not really teen or children, it's in between, it's tween, preteen. And I'll tell you, I believe the cutting edge now is a 12-year-old.
Wow.
And I'm not alone. Madison Avenue thinks the same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Super important question.
Okay.
Duck hunt or halo?
Duck hunt or halo? Halo.
Halo. Wow. You're new school, bro. You're cutting edge.
I'm learning, and I really don't even have a clue the difference between the two, so I'm just faking it right now. Because really, you're right, I'm behind the times on some stuff. But the good thing about ministry is that if you have the timeless message of I must, which is all over our stuff, then in fact that's what it's all about. So thank you for asking me the question. I wish I had a more informed answer.
Right. What can a church do to really begin to target this age group? You know, because a pastor out there watching right now, a minister out there watching right now is going to go, okay, really, how do we just go after this and implement this?
Well, it's not that hard. We just finished a workshop, and there are some churches that are going to go J12. Now, when I say go J12, what does that mean? It's not a heavy-handed program that costs a bunch of money. It's about having some leaders that are passionate about that story of Jesus at 12, slapping some good graphics on the wall and calling it J12, getting some of our curriculum, if you so desire, our DVD-driven material, and go J12. And the values of J12 are, I must be about my Father's business. That's the confession of J12. And you can run it without any heavy-handed programming. It's just an attitude, it's a spirit, it's a culture that has curriculum, but the culture of J12 is fueled through people. So all you need is good leaders. Leaders that are passionate about, and here's our prophetic phrase, reaching a generation before they need to be rescued. Reach them at 12, so we want to have to rescue them at 21.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Greg. Love your art. Incredible.
God bless
J12
you.
Ministries, Think International.